I was horrified to find a bomb in my scanned suitcase, but I wasn't gonna report it because the terrorist voices were coming through my headset, and if I reported it, it would take my girlfriend's life. But I wasn't gonna let the terrorists win. I put my cell phone under the table and called the police. But when the call came through, the voice in the headset told me to hang up.
Hang up now, or Nora dies.
What did you just say?
Right now, my people have a Barrett M82 sniper rifle at her head. Hang up the call.
I had no choice but to end the call and place my phone in the lost and found box as demanded. But I didn't give up. I quietly woke up my watch and pretended to talk to the terrorist while secretly transcribing my words into text messages from my cousin the next second.
Let's cancel the text.
I was surprised that such a subtle movement was detected. I didn't even know how the terrorists saw it until I looked up and saw the airport security cameras above me. I realized that the terrorists had hacked into the airport surveillance system. That's how they were able to see my every move. Not only that, but the terrorists made me not to show a look of fear. If anyone in the vicinity saw me, they'd be suspicious. At that moment, the airport announcement came on. I suddenly realized that the same thing was playing on my headset. That means the terrorist is also at the airport right now. In order to find out where he was, I started circling around with the terrorist. I agreed to comply with all their demands. And in 10 minutes, the terrorist accomplice would arrive with a second suitcase. All I had to do then was to let him go. Then the cooperation would end happily. In the course of our conversation, I finally realized a few more details. There was a baby crying in the vicinity of the terrorist, and he was chewing something in his mouth, obviously eating. So I paused the conveyor belt to listen to the entire airport. I finally found the crying baby not far away. Then I looked at the bar and saw a suspicious man. At this point, I finally found the terrorist location. Now I can fight back. As the baggage carousel remained stopped, an impatient passenger urged me to restart it. I seized the opportunity to deliberately start an argument. As the altercation escalated, I called for an officer to verify the man's identity, so I took his ticket and discreetly used an invisible ink pen to write down the hijacker's details. The notes were only visible under ultraviolet light. The message was successfully delivered to the airport police. The officer nodded his head after reading it. He turned around and walked towards the command center. Now we can finally turn the situation around. But when I turned my head, I realized that the terrorists had left their original position. I looked around for the terrorist, but I didn't realize that he had already sneaked up on the officer. He even brushed past him on purpose. Suddenly, the officer felt sick and fell to the ground and died of a heart attack. And the terrorist took the plane ticket with the message of help. He took one look at me and then calmly turned around and left. It was clearly a threatening look. At this point, I had no last resort but to cooperate with the terrorists to fulfill their demands.